Welcome to Living Chassidus. Together, let's live the Chassidus we learn.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Chassidus in the Morning. 15 minutes to change our lives. Kuntres and we're going to be davening for Yoram ben Miriam. Hashem should be all good. Okay, we're gonna start from Perek Dal, go back a little bit, just to get like a running start. And yeah, we'll have to Perek Maamer Chav Hey. So we have two more. After this one, it's Chav Vav, Chav Zayin, Chav Ches. Yeah, we're gonna start. Okay, it's Perek Daled. So we're talking about Hanasa and having the clarity to understand what's right and what's wrong and not getting confused, or the issue of getting confused more correctly. Let's see. Perek Daled. This is the last Perek of Maamer Chav Hey, and then we go to Perek Chav Vav. So Yisroel, we are believers, the sons of believers. So we have a natural inborn belief, like the famous joke that a son goes to public school and he comes home and he hears it from some Christian kids, and talking about all these things about, like, their religion and things. So the kid comes home and he's like asking his dad, he's like so confused, what's going on? Like, what do we believe in? So his father tells him, he goes, there's one God and we don't believe in him. So a yid by nature, like they say, if you go to a shul in Yom Kippur, only religion that you go to like the highest day of the year, like by a shul in Yom Kippur, you go to a regular shul that people don't always come. It's packed shul, and everyone has a different opinion of what they believe in. It's like you go to any regular l'cheira, seemingly any church or any mosque, and they all have the same beliefs. That they believe one thing. It's not complicated. By a yid, it's complicated. Everyone has different beliefs, but we are by nature, we are all believers. The emunah and this belief that we have is natural. It's not. We're going to discuss. There's natural love, natural belief, meaning that we're a yid, so we believe in God. So no questions. And then there's one that's like that lahavdil goy has, that it's not that level. It's a lower level. It's a something different nesaf. And we're going to discuss it a little bit. And the simple proof is, I remember I saw a video. Unfortunately, we have a lot of proofs after the whole terrorist attack war against the Jewish people in Eretz Yisroel, especially the anti-Semitism that came afterwards. So many Jews came to shul. I remember seeing this video of this guy full of tattoos, and he goes, I want to say thank you to all the anti-Semites, because it's really inspired my Judaism, made me more connected. It's like seemingly what's the connection? Someone being not nice to a yid that makes you more connected. If anything, it make you want to hide more. But he said, I have no connection. Look at me, I'm full of tattoos. It's not even a lad. But now I'm feeling more inspired. I'm starting to pray more and do all these things. And that's what we're saying. That's because by a yid, it's a natural thing. And just this is revealing it. This is what makes us different than all the nations. That's on the face of the earth. Because all the nations, even though there are in the nations of the world people that believe, have faith, in their belief system, and then there's some that are totally really devoted. But nevertheless, this is not born out of nature. It's only acquired to something separate. It's a way of acquiring. It's not a natural, innate, inborn thing. And there's plenty of proofs of this. One of the simple examples is a famous story about this black general in the American army that totally didn't know the Jewish or anything, and the rabbi shliach came to the base for some special occasion, and he put on tefillin on a on one of the Jewish soldiers over there. And then the black man went and asked, "Oh, by the way, I have some Jewish blood within me." So the rabbi's like, "Yeah." And he said, "My great grandmother was Jewish." So he asked, "From what side?" And he said, "My mother's mother." So I said, "That means you're Jewish." So he's like, "Whoa, I didn't know that. That's interesting." So he said, "You should probably, so therefore let's do something Jewish." So he said, "Okay, what would I do?" So he told him that tefillin. And the guy was like, "Tefillin, I don't know, this crazy thing." And also like my suit, in the army, all dressed up proper. So the guy's wife said, "When the rabbi tells you to do something, you'd listen." So he said, "Okay, listen to his wife." So he took it off and he put on tefillin and he started crying. And he ended up like taking off and asked, "What are you doing to me?" Like, you all freaked out. I'm like, "Well, what are you crying about?" Like, he doesn't even know what tefillin is. He didn't even know he was Jewish. And now he's already crying. Well, what happened? Because this is the emunah. It's not a davar neis. It's not an additional thing. It's not something added to us. This is our nature. And in this case, he just found out he's Jewish, and the tefillin came, and already it did everything. And this is what we're saying, because it's innate to us. Like we see clearly by intellect. There's a central seichel, a central intellect, something that's acquired. And this in general is like the difference between the intellect of an animal and the intellect of a human. Because we are essentially intellectual thinking people. We don't have to build our ability to think. It's not like there's us and there's us thinking. We naturally think. And that's why we are, what defines us as distinct from animals is intellect. Whereas an animal's intellect is something that's acquired. For example, like an ox knows its owner, and the donkey knows the feeding trough of its owner. Meaning, like animals, how do you teach them? They can do all these things. They can behave. They can live in your house. They can, run and listen, follow commandments, and not run on the street. And you can train them very well. But clearly, that's not an essential thing. That's something you are training. How do you train them? With food, with treats. But they're not naturally intellectual. And the only way to teach them is by doing those things, which is showing us that it's a davar neis, it's an additional thing, something separate to who they truly are. Unlike intellect, for us, for human, it's something essential. And in the case of what we're comparing, it's like a yid, our intellect, our emunah is something essential. יש כמה עניינים, מה שבהם הידם מכניסים שכל בעל החיים, כמו המרדס שמוירה דיה. Babahema, it's like a marda, which is the saddle, but you can also read it mardea, that it gives it knowledge. To marda dea, that it shows it knowledge, so you can teach animals things. But it's a davar neis, it's an additional thing. It's not an essential thing. They're not essentially intellectual. They're being taught something. Babahema shekol zehu rak seichel hanikner aval seichel adam hu atzmi. Whereas for us, intellect is an essential thing. That's part of who we are. That's why we say, what were you thinking? An animal, you don't say, what were you thinking? An animal, they don't think. And that's what we're saying, that we are thinking by nature. And this is part of our DNA. So too with faith. And therefore, using this analogy of intellect, this is the same idea with emunah. By yid, our emunah is essential. Whereas by a not yid, it's a davar neis. Our emunah in Hashem is an essential. We don't have to. Meaning like this. We don't have to acquire belief in Hashem, faith in Hashem. We don't have belief in Hashem. Like, yeah, I believe there's something out there. We naturally have it. This is part of our DNA. We see clearly, every single idea, whether it's good or the opposite, the name of Hashem is found on the name on our tongues, on our lips. In different ways we say this. What do we say? We say, Yerachem Hashem Yisbarach, Hashem should have mercy. Yachlus Hashem Yisbarach, Toda Hashem, thank you Hashem, Baruch Hashem, all these things. And different types of prayers and and thanks to Hashem. So we're always saying this. I guess especially even more so in Hadar Rashab. But that's what he's saying, that by Yid does this. It's natural. That's just a natural thing. Because our emunah on Hashem is an essential one. This is it's our life and the length of our days. And on this belief in Hashem, we were softened martyrdom. Kol hayamim b'mar hagalas hamar. B'yemei hagalas hamar, with this bitter galus. And we've suffered for this even. This emunah. And this is what we have. So now that we have this emunah, we understand that we have this emunah. So too, let's tie this back into parnasa. And this is the secret to parnasa. Because if we recognize what we've been saying just now, that we all naturally have a connection to Hashem, and we see and we believe in Hashem, we understand Hashem in charge, and we see that clearly we died for Hashem, we all talk about Hashem, and Hashem is always on the lips of a Yid. So therefore, if we understand that Hashem is in charge, that and the parnas that we get is all from the blessing of Hashem. And every single Jew knows that the source of their parnas is not the work. It's not that my work, my job, my business, whatever it is that I'm doing to receive parnasa is the source of the parnasa. We know it's from Hashem. We know well Hashem here, that it all comes from Hashem. That Hashem is giving us our parnasa. Through this work, through this business, whatever means that we make of making money, we understand that it's not that is what's bringing us the parnasa. It's really coming from Hashem. But then you're going to tell me, 1 second, it sounds nice what you're saying, but I don't see it that way. I feel my work. So he's saying that's the ruach shtus. That's the spirit of folly. That's the part of us it's confused. The Yetzer Hara confuses us not to recognize this reality that we essentially have, and we all know it's coming from Hashem. And this is sort of, we have to just undo this mistake that we've built. We have to remind ourselves that Hashem is in charge. Being that the main thing is what Hashem is going to give us. So therefore, anything that Hashem wants us to do, He's not going to get in the way of the parnasa. We say to ourselves, I can't learn now, I can't daven now, I can't do these Torah addictive things, I can't give tzedakah because I got to go to work. I need money for the work and the work, but it doesn't make sense because we essentially know that Hashem is in charge of the parnasa. The work is just the keli, and if Hashem is in charge, so then what does Hashem want me to do? We can't say Hashem wants me to go to work, but Hashem doesn't want me to do mitzvahs. If Hashem's the boss's job for us is one thing is to go to work, and that's the mitzvah, and one thing is also to daven and learn. So for sure, have the time to daven and learn. And in the case that Rasha was talking about businessmen, and for sure they have time to go daven with a minion and to go to a shiur. You can't say, and you can't and so they're saying, I'm too busy, I don't have the time, I need to make parnasa. But essentially deep down, the parnasa is from Hashem. The same Hashem that's telling you, that's going to give you the parnasa, the same Hashem is telling you to come and learn and daven with a minion. So we have to remind ourselves that if we want to have good parnasa, it's not by spending extra hours in the office. Of course, you're going to do your job properly, but it's making sure we set ourselves time to daven and to learn and to do and to connect, do the spiritual things and do the mitzvahs that Hashem wants us. And he says, and even though you're not going to have as much time to work because you're spending less time at work and you're more time davening and learning. The little work that you do will be enough. Meaning, you have to be very honest with ourselves. We're not coming. I found a trick way how not to go work. I'm just going to go daven and learn all day, and then I only have an hour to work, so Hashem's going to provide me. Of course, we've got to do things by nature and actually go to work. But he's saying, we got to make sure that we set ourselves time to doing spiritual things and making sure to do Torah mitzvahs. And part of it is making sure we have time to daven, we have time to learn. And not that we're davening and learning is something separate from making the parnasa. That's part of the kli to have the parnasa. That's what gives us the success. When we daven and learn properly. You know, I was on this class yesterday about mental health and being a first aid responder. And one of the things we're talking about, we have a topic about parnasa. So someone said that the key, the tried and tested formula for parnasa is being careful with Rambam. And he said, this is tried and tested. If you want to be successful with parnasa, if you don't have any financial issues, you don't want to have any financial issues, make sure you're very careful about doing Rambam every day. And he said, and if you're doing Rambam very carefully and you're still not working, it means you're not doing it well enough. So it means even if you're learning every day, it could be you're not learning it properly. Whatever it is. And so this is also another little tip that I learned. Just to finish this last little bit. Yim yamtzi loy larviach b'mad zman shemad ha'esek yase yumshach v'slabish chesed ha'niktov v'nimshach elav. That even a little bit of time that you have, you'll be able to make plenty. And really, this is a beautiful idea and a beautiful secret that we say, I'm not making enough. Let's say you're working 9 to 5, and you're like, I'm not making enough. Now, of course, you got to ask yourself, am I doing what I should be doing? And maybe I'm in a nebachi job, but. And a very important point, we have to say to ourselves, listen, Hashem's in charge, and Hashem can take care of this. I'm going to make sure, when I'm going to work, of course, do the work the best I can, but I'm going to make sure to be very, just like I make sure to come to work on time, I'm going to come to learn on time. I'm going to learn every day. I'm going to make sure to daven every day and do all the Torah mitzvahs that Hashem wants me to do. Because Hashem is also my parnasa. And if I take care of those things, He'll take care of those things. And we'll see that it'll work. Yeah, amazing stuff. Okay, everyone have a great day, and tomorrow we'll finish off this parak, and we'll go to the next Maamer. Have a great day.